Instant ramen. Now, the global phenomenon of conveniently packed and delicious noodles was first invented in 1958 post-World War II in Japan by an individual named Momofuku Ando to help feed the Japanese population. Down the line in 1971, Ando, also known as the Noodle God, and his company decided to launch cup noodles, which is what we know and love today. And when you're looking at instant ramen noodles, when you go to the store, there's so many different options, from the humble beginnings of just plain old cup noodles all the way down to the high-end premium instant ramen styles. Now today, my friends and I decided to set out with a mission to understand which cup noodles, which instant ramen is best. So let's go on to this journey. Let's begin.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex Lee. I'm from Calgary, Canada. My favorite ramen memory is growing up. I had my babysitters that would bring us over to their house when I was younger and teach us how to use chopsticks and eat ramen. So that's a very early memory of mine.
Hi everyone, I'm Tracy. I'm from Philadelphia. When I think of ramen, I think of late nights in Hong Kong after the club, just slurping up a huge bowl of noodles and it bringing me back to life.
Hi, I'm Gabe Brown and I'm from Calgary, Canada. When I think about ramen period, I think of Mr. Noodles and specifically eating like dry, uncooked Mr. Noodles with just like powder sprinkled on top like a pervert.
What up, world? I'm Alex Moritz. I'm from LA. My life changed when I figured out there were so many more types of instant ramen than cup noodles.
What's going on, everyone? My name is John Lee and I'm from South New Jersey, a little town called Galloway Township. And my favorite memory of ramen is every time we come back home from a family trip, no matter what time of the day it is, whether it be 2 in the morning or 5 p.m. or 9 p.m., my family goes into the kitchen, gets 4 packs of ramen, we cook it up and we eat it as a family. Yeah, that makes my heart feel really warm. So the first ramen we're going to taste today is Shin Lamian. It's like the go-to classic, but I can't do this on my own. So our first guest of the day, we have Tracy. Woo! Welcome. Oh, of course. Thanks for even coming up with the idea. This, for all of you viewers out there, Tracy came up with this entire thing and we decided, you know what? Let's eat ramen. We have like how much ramen did you get?
I bought like $80 worth of ramen.
Oh my God.
So we're in for an absolute ramen bonanza. We're going to get started with Shin Ramen. How are we going to rank all of these ramens and like provide some sort of flavor profile or what have you?
Yeah, so we talked about it as a group, and when you think of instant ramen, there are 3 components to each package. It's the soup, sauce base, the noodle quality, and then third, we're just gonna have the add-ins, the mix-ins, the little sprinklings of veggies and other things that come with each packet.
Oh, and then we'll do like an overall flavor recommendation overall, and we're gonna rank all these on a scale of 1 to 5, but it's 1 to 5 slurps. That's a totally valid way to rank.
Super
categorize.
scientific.
We've done so much research. It's all about the slurps. We gotta get some ASMR here.
First, I think the noodles are amazing. They're super bouncy. I have some like mushrooms, little shiitake mushrooms in mine.
I would say their toppings and add-ins are like pretty impressive. You got some greens, you got some carrots, like you said, mushrooms. It's very versatile, very diverse range of vegetables. The noodles are very well cooked. I don't know if that was like you guys or if it's the actual noodle, but the noodles, is bounce the right word? I like bounce.
I think it's bouncy.
It's bouncy,
I appreciate
okay.
a bouncy noodle.
I think the broth, this one's like a spicier one comparatively to like normal ramen, and I like that.
This is a very solid broth, so I'm gonna give it 3 slurps.
I agree with noodles. I want to say, because of the bounciness, 4 slurps. 4 slurps for the noodles. Add-ons, I would also say like 3, only because I saw some of the packaging on the other ones and it looks like
So you've been corrupted.
some of the other ones look like they have like a whole like meal on top of the noodles. So I'm gonna say 3 slurps for add-ons, and then overall like that puts it at like a 3.5 slurps,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so we got our first ramen down. Do we want to have like a guest judge? What do you guys, real quick, what are your takes on Shin Ramen?
A little spicy for little me. I think it's a 4.
4.
Maybe these guys are going to blow me away, the rest of the noodles, but yep, I'm saying 4.
Awesome. So we have like our first ramen here, 3.5, 4 slurps. That's pretty good. On to the next. For the next ramen, we are going to be eating Domi.
This is a plain packet, but I like it. It feels like I'm eating noodles from the past, classic noodles. They've got a shrimp in here, egg. I think we're going to get something really, really tasty out of this one. What do you think?
I agree. Definitely looks less spicy, less dangerous, a little bit more inviting. eating kind of looks like stir fry noodles to me, which makes sense. They're dry noodle. Oh, stir fry noodles. Look at that. And they're so little.
First thing I'm noticing, this is on the plate. It's not looking quite like the stir-fried noodles I was promised. I'm a little bit underwhelmed from the start, but I'd love to see how it tastes. Softer noodle, not quite as much chew, but maybe that's intentional. The sauce is a little mild, but it tastes pretty good.
Approachable. Approachable noodles, not as bouncy. Okay, but they're kind of sweet. I feel like they taste how the packaging looks.
No, this is a nice afternoon snack right here. And you've got a little bit of the fried shallot in there. But I do think like we could have a little bit more, some vegetables, something that's just a little bit different from the noodles. Right now it just feels like I'm eating a plate of noodles.
I agree. This is super basic. But sometimes that's what you crave. Like just nothing crazy.
How would you rank the noodles themselves?
I'm giving it a 2.
I'm giving it 2 slurp. These are pretty underwhelming compared to some of the other ones we tried today. The sauce?
I wish there was more of the sauce. I don't know. I'm giving it maybe 2.5.
2.5 slurps. I agree with that. I think the flavor's good. I think it's just lacking a little bit. And I think add-ins, there's a little bit of fried shallot in here, but not really too much to speak of. Again, we spoke to the need for some more. I'm giving the add-in 1.5 slurps. 2 slurps overall. Would eat again, but wouldn't be my first choice.
I agree. I think I could be in the mood for these, but in general, I would give it overall 2-ish. But they're good.
They're not bad.
I feel like I need to defend them. They're so cute.
I'll come to the defense of Indomie. I love these noodles. I think I like the balance of sweet and salty, and I think it has a real depth of flavor here. I would give these noodles a 3.5.
Next, we're going to eat Frutak, which is like crazy spicy. Also doesn't have a broth, but it's like a stir-fried ramen. We got Alex joining us here to try this as well. What do you think? Have you eaten this?
I think I've had this one before. It's definitely spicy.
This one will put some hair on your chest, huh?
Even just like the black packaging and the very, very red imaging on here. I think it's meant to scare you off a little bit.
Yeah, and there's a chicken on there, right? That's breathing fire.
Yeah.
Is it breathing fire?
Yeah, it's breathing fire.
Got first impressions or anything before we get in here?
I mean, it smells really good, but definitely you already know this is going to be a battle.
I'm definitely already like sniffling. Oh, I see your nose. You're starting to sweat. I think I am too. Yeah. Oh, man.
What do you think?
Yeah, okay. So back to our flavoring ranking system. There's no broth. It's a sauce. I honestly think the sauce is really, really flavorful. It punches you in the face, but I've had spicier things, so I actually really like this because you can still taste. It's not spicy enough where you can't taste.
Totally agree. Definitely spicy, but yeah, you get more than, it's not just purely spice. You get more than that.
Okay, so for the sauce, I will put it at 4 slurps.
Yeah, I do like 3.5 slurps, I think, yeah.
And then noodles, yeah, I think the noodles, we cooked them pretty easy. I'll give this a 3 slurps.
I'd agree, yeah, three slurps. Versus some of the others, I don't think this is as exciting from a noodle standpoint, but, it does the trick. And what about the accoutrements?
Yeah, wait, okay. Explain that to the people.
Just like the add-ins, the intangibles.
Say the word again.
Accoutrement.
Probably a 2. Probably 2 slurps. It's cool. It's like, I think it was sesame seeds and like flakes of seaweed and stuff. So it is nice that it gives you a little bit of texture because other than that, it's just like soft noodles. So the texture is nice. But I think with ramen, I definitely think of like scallions. I think of mushrooms, carrots, sometimes meat. So the fact that it didn't have that, I'll give it like 2.5 slurps.
I'll go with 3. I like the flakes on it. I think added a little bit, that little tiny crunch, but nothing crazy. This is good though.
Yeah, overall, what's your slurps?
3.5 slurps. I mean, I like the spice.
What's this next one? Can we get the packaging? Oh, I think it's exactly the same thing, but it just says 2x spicy on it. The chicken is blowing even more fire, but the fire is black fire, and the chicken's holding a bomb now. So that's new. I'm like nervous, but I want to give like a big whiff of it.
It smells good.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought. Yeah.
It doesn't even smell as bad as the last one.
So I think noodles are well cooked. No qualms there. I feel like the flavor was a little bit less intense and a little bit more one note, right? Like we're looking at more spice, less of that complexity.
Okay, for context, Alex, you should tell everyone like what you do because like the way you're describing this is so spot on, and like I had no idea how to put words to it, but you just like very eloquently said exactly what I was feeling.
Yeah, I eat ramen and I think about ramen. I was working as a chef actually before I came into this room. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm sweating a little bit. I mean, like this is not
Dude,
like
it's
I mean
building
it's definitely
up, bro.
still spicy.
Dude, it's building.
I know, we're looking shiny right now. It's a weird thing because it's like it didn't feel that spicy when I was eating it, but like
It lingers.
physically, like it's spicy. Like I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, lots of physical sensations. Slurps. I'll give noodles 3 slurps. Sauce, honestly, probably just like 3 slurps again. Accoutrement, I'm gonna do 3 again.
I'll go 3 on the noodles, maybe even 2.5 on the noodles, 3 on the accoutrement. 4 on the sauce. Like, I like spicy, and yeah, you get what you want. You wanted spice, you get the spice.
Just in the spirit of, our last conversation, I think 3's all around. I'm similar to John on this one. This is, to me, just down the middle, a novelty item. This is not anything that I'm, adding in as part of a balanced diet.
This one I think is really interesting because look at the noodles on the packaging. They're kind of like glass noodles, so super slippery. I think it'll be really chewy.
This is the one I was most excited about. It sounds like peanut flavor a little bit in there. The noodles look really interesting. Yeah, I'm excited. Although I think it might be spicy.
It's so good.
I don't know why it reminds me of like octopus.
Oh, it is super chewy and super thick. It's kind of like thick, like an udon noodle, and it's just wider and flatter. You know what I really appreciate? The noodles, when we took them out, were super slippery.
Yeah.
But the sauce is really sticking to the noodle. Not falling off. Every single bite, you get a lot of good sauce on each noodle. And the flavor, it's got the sesame, it's got that sourness from the vinegar, a hint of the chili oil.
Sauce
so good.
is killer. Sauce is really good.
Alex, I think you had a good hunch about this one.
Okay, but I'm gonna break your heart here. I'm not a fan of the noodles. It's not that I just feel like maybe I've never had anything like it before.
It is a departure because all the other ramens we've had are like the curly, thin, super bouncy ramen noodles, but this is like a wide, flat rice noodle. So it is super, super different.
The more bites I take, the more I like it. I think this, it's very slippery.
Do you think you would like this better if you had the traditional curly ramen noodles?
Yeah, I think the sauce, top tier. Sauce is 4 slurps.
I was going to say 5 slurps.
Accoutrement or the add-ins, 3.5 slurps.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy, but I appreciate the green onion and the sesame seeds.
I'll give 3 slurps for the noodles only because of their uniqueness.
I'm going to give the noodles 4 slurps. I love the thickness, the bounciness. I think it goes great with the sauce.
So overall, how many slurps?
3.5, 4.
I'll go with 3 slurps for me, but I could see for you being 4 slurps.
4.9.
So good, guys. Try it, Alex.
Is that like tanginess?
Yeah.
4 slurps. This is delicious. I'd happily eat this.
Okay, guys, you heard it here first. Look for this noodle package at your local 99 Ranch.
Next up, we have noguri, spicy seafood flavor.
Oh,
and it's udon type noodles. But the picture looks really inviting.
My first impression looking at this bowl, you got wider noodles. I think they're really following through on that udon noodle promise.
You definitely get the seafood flavor.
You get the seafood flavor.
I think that's really cool because like everything else we've tried today, I feel like hasn't had any of that.
I'll give these a 4 actually. These are a little bit different than some of the other ones we've been tasting today. I think broth, I give it like a 3.5. Again, I'm very partial like these seafood broths, but I agree. I think the flavor could be a little more intense, whether it was cooking or product itself. I'm not totally sure. And then accoutrements, I mean, I don't know, maybe like a 2. I see there's like some seaweed flakes in here that probably help with some of that seafood flavor, but nothing crazy.
I would actually say the noodles don't feel like that's crazy different to me at least. So I actually go back to like a 3.5. The broth, when I drank it like at the bottom, it actually got a lot more flavor.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Like I think the sediment, or is it called sediment? I don't know. The seasoning is at the bottom. So when you drink that, I actually like that a lot. And that seafood flavor really comes through. So I like a 3.5 for slurps on that. Accoutrement, feeling like a 2.5 probably. Overall, that probably puts it at like a 3 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say like a 3. I mean, I think this is pretty down the middle. But again,
Yeah.
I mean, I think really pleasant to eat.
Yeah, definitely go back. What have you been cooking in here?
These are the jajang noodles.
Yep.
Chapaghetti.
I grew up with this all the time. We have our guest Tracy come and explain to us what the origins of both of these are.
So the reason we decided to do these two is because they actually cooked this in the Parasite movie. So when the family's in the big rich house and they're hungry and they want something to eat, they actually cooked both of these ramens, mixed it together. They've got a little wagyu. We don't have that, and that's what we're gonna do right now.
I mean, this just reminds me of home. Like this just feels good. It tastes good. I always love the flavor. I actually prefer mine with like way less water. Like I like this one more dry, like a little bit of water, but like I think it's super delicious. It just brings back so many memories. I won't go into rankings just yet. Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna come with a hot take, and that I did not like this one. thought it was
so hurt.
I thought it was a little bit flavorless compared to the other ones that we've eaten. I actually think it's deceptive because when you look at it, it's all sauced up and it's super dark and you think, wow, it's gonna have this humongous flavor punch, but it's just so subtle. So subtle.
Yeah, I mean, rarely do you say like instant noodles need more salt, but this is a scenario where I think we could probably hit it with the salt shaker. I don't know. Should we try mixing in some of the other soup?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Better combined than on their own. I like the broth because it's like you've got the seafood of the niguri, but then you've got a little bit of depth coming from the black bean and the chapaghetti. And having both noodles together is pretty crazy too.
Yeah, I think like on the broth aspect, yeah, there's just so much more flavor. It just intensified so much. And the noodles, like, it's just weird seeing a black and a white noodle in the same bowl. Like I don't like this is just like I've never seen anything like it. So it's interesting. I agree. I think this definitely tastes better combined than both separately, at least the way we cooked or prepared both.
How many slurps? I'd give combined 3.5 slurps.
I'm the same.
3.5 slurps, and I'd say 3 slurps for each by themselves. Maybe 2.5 slurps for the chapaghetti.
Sorry, John.
All right, I'll make it next time, and I swear it'll be different. It'll be different.
So now we are going to be tasting the Ichiran instant noodles. So Ichiran is a ramen restaurant in Japan founded in 1960, and they're known for having really delicious tonkatsu pork broth, super thin but firm, bouncy noodles, and a private dining experience where you get your own booth. You don't see anybody. All you see is that a bowl of noodles appears, and you get to enjoy it in peace.
Gabe and I can already tell these are a luxury ramen.
Yeah, like I don't think we have to be a pro. Like touching the noodles, it's satisfying. They feel beautiful. Look at the gold ribbon.
It's very fancy.
I don't even want to cook them. Okay, even the broth looks really good. Like it looks like homemade broth to me. Okay, wow, it doesn't look spicy, but that little spice packet, you can tell.
Oh, good slurp. That's 5.
Can't hold back on reactions and then go, okay, that's a 5.
You don't think? Okay, well, give your explanation first.
Okay, I do think it's actually really good. Love the nudes. But walk me through it. What's the broth?
Broth? Man, broth is good. Broth is like easily you can just taste the quality. But it's like pork, right?
I feel like I taste a little bit of like white pepper.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like white pepper has such a distinct taste.
Oh,
but it's,
yeah.
It's really nice in here.
It's funny. I only had 1 bite and 1 spoonful, and I already feel like satisfied. Like some of the other ones, I'm like, you're craving more and more bites. Not necessarily because it tastes good, but you can have 1 bite and you just feel like a burst of flavor.
Yeah, and it's so perfectly salty.
Noodles, 5 slurps.
I think I'm going to give that 4.5 slurps.
It just feels like luxurious compared to like everything else we've eaten today. I'm impressed.
I feel like every single packet was made with love.
Yeah.
Ichiran.
Honestly, like if you gave this to me and charged me like $13 I'd be really happy, honestly.
If I had to give one criticism, a little bit less salt. Because I feel like I eat the whole packet of this and I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, I think what Alex said before of like having 1 bite and you feel very like satisfied. Yeah, it's like very intense, very flavorful, and it's like if you have too much of it, it'll be. Yeah, this is also like a less is more kind of thing, right?
You ever had too much of a good thing?
Yes. Yeah, I'm there. 5 slurps. I think this is my favorite for sure.
5 slurps. I think this really sets the bar. You know, niguri, chapaghetti, all the other Indomie. Step up your game.
I agree. 5 slurps. When you have this ramen, nothing else compares. Can't go back.
I honestly was not expecting any of these to be universally like liked by all of us. All right, cool. Well, I think that about concludes it. You heard it here first. This is like the best ramen you could get. I think this is overall the winner of the day. Look for this box and it guaranteed you're gonna love it. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you all so much, and see you on the next one.